I am the Vice President of Corporate Development at First Genesis. We are a blockchain company here in Houston where we're the world's first platform that integrates the capabilities of blockchain, AI, and digital twin all on the back end. The fact that we are a high performance computing platform, software defined, so we can process seismic data from the birth of the source, whether that is land or marine. We also have the capability to go from have a bi-directional data pipeline from edge to core to cloud, and if so architected, in reverse. We have a very unique capability called Zero Trust Cybersecurity, which I will get into a little bit of detail a little bit later on in the topic. And so those are some of the capabilities of our platform. So this is digital transformation. You know, in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you look like what was there on the left. And today, and increasingly so, our desks, our organizations are starting to look like what's on the right. Why is this important? Nearly every company in the world is trying to make improved decisions. So you want to spend time making data-driven decisions. But look at how much time that organization spent cleaning up that data. So this is why we're doing this. You first start at a base level. What's the data? You're trying to drive to what is the understanding of what is happening in the environment, whether it is in close proximity within your organization and or at the very edge. So you're trying to scale up this triangle so that you can get to that wisdom level, and then you can be actionable in those efforts. All of that is to try and get you to the single source of the truth. Why is that important? Again, to the earlier slide, the fact that you are spending, or oftentimes many of these organizations spend a lot of time on data cleanup. If you can move to the source, get the raw data, and then you can manage it, that's a much different proposition for your organization and your speed to market and your speed to your customers' experience. This is a much more proactive stance than reactive. So first, what I would like to talk to you about is cybersecurity. And I want to extend your understanding of cybersecurity, especially in this realm as it comes to supply chain management. There is an offensive perspective, and then there's a defensive perspective. So what is that offensive perspective? Look, attacks very early on can impact your operations. Bad actors are trying to gain access to your data even before those subcomponents are built into components or built into the final product. They are working to adulterate at the foundry level, meaning the chipset level, or firmware, software, hardware, or any of those microcodes. So when it comes to how you interact or build your contracts with your suppliers, you need to be asking these questions. Because even though you might think you have a dumb device like a valve, that valve is being operated by some actuator that has a chip on it, that has software that's driving it. And if you don't think about that and ask those questions up front, and also put those KPIs so that you understand the provenance of that software, who coded what and when, then you're exposed. Now, that's the offensive posture. The defensive posture is zero trust. So what is zero trust? If you look at that diagram on the far right, what zero trust allows you to do is that not only can, and I'll pick on this table, since not only can that chair not talk to that chair cannot talk to that mouse, and that mouse cannot talk to that camera on that table. So you do that through a number of different protocols. You know, some of that is what they call RBAC, so role-based access, identity services. So role-based access, are you in a role that gives you access to this, either as a person or a piece of equipment? So this is zero trust. So there's an offensive posture and then there's a defensive posture. And both you should think about implementing. Then there's blockchain, which is the business I am. The key thing about blockchain is that it is a secure, interconnected, transparent source of the truth, where you understand the provenance of that data. Anybody can copy data now and adulterate it. But if you know that you got that information from the device and you can validate the device, then you know it's a trusted data source. And now you can act confidently on those business decisions. So now imagine you got an IoT device sitting in the field, you know where it is, you know the telemetry that's coming off of it, you know the weather conditions. All of that can inform what you do next, all on the blockchain. So now you know the provenance of that data. Now you have business confident insights. Imagine what that does for your organization, how it speeds up your decision making, how it allows you to further engage with your customers and understand their customer experience and their experience journey. I will speak for the platform that I represent because that is a product offering for us. Because we can sit at the device and because we have 4 layers of encryption, and because we can, when I say sit at the device, that is a micro perimeter. We have, some of the things I talked about, role-based access and identity services. That's how we get to zero trust. The smart contracts come after that. It's a base layer. Cybersecurity is a base layer all across your organization, however you decide to implement it. And I understand that each one of your organizations have different capabilities and contexts that drive that. And that's why it might sound like I'm deliberately being general, but that's the reason why. So with that, I will end. Thank you very much.